Losing your job is incredibly tough. Might be one of the toughest things you go through. And even though it's short term, it can be a punch to the gut. We're all struggling financially. The last thing you want to worry about is your health insurance, but it's really important. Hi, my name is John, and I'm your healthcare hacker. Today, I want to have a discussion about what you can do to protect you and your family if you do lose your job, whether you actually are furloughed or completely let go. First off, if you're furloughed, you may still have healthcare benefits. A lot of times what's happening in a furlough situation is the employer isn't paying your salary, but you keep your healthcare, which is great. However, at some point, they may require you to get off health insurance. Or if you've just been let go, you're going to have to find a solution for healthcare coverage. It's one of the challenges of our employer-based healthcare system here in the US. So what can you do? Well, there's three options. Option number one is COBRA. COBRA is basically a continuation of your current insurance that you get through your employer. The good thing about it is if you've had an expensive year, you've hit your deductible, you've hit your out-of-pocket max, then you get to continue that. So you won't pay anything out of pocket, you just have the premiums. The bad thing is it's expensive. You don't realize how much your employer pays of your healthcare coverage, so it can be very pricey. The second option is you go out to the exchange. If you're in Minnesota, you can go to MNsure. If you're in other states, you can go to healthcare.gov or the local state plan. The good thing about these plans is you got more options. You can buy a cheaper plan and typically the premiums are lower. The bad thing is you start your benefit year over. So if you already hit your deductible, you already hit your out-of-pocket max, you gotta start at zero again. So you might pay 2 deductibles this year. The third option is you could do a short-term medical insurance. Now, that's more of a challenge, and I can't give a lot of strong advice here because it really depends on the plan. These plans are made to be for situations like this where you have a short-term gap in coverage. However, they can limit what's actually covered. So if you're going to go down that path, they're typically the cheapest, but do your research. They don't necessarily have all the coverage that a plan on the exchange would have, or if you continued on COBRA. Regardless of what plan you pick, it's still going to be expensive and probably a lot more expensive than you realize. For some of us, if we have lost our job and our income's been significantly reduced, there's a couple things I want you to keep in mind. First, you have 60 days from when you lose your employer-based health insurance to go onto the exchange and buy new insurance. If you go past that date, you've got to wait till January 1st. So time is of the essence. Secondly, do your research. The state sites, exchange sites are really easy to use and do price shopping. So figure out what type of plan you want. You don't have to even create an account necessarily. And I'll tell you what the cost is going to be. Finally, if you have had a significant reduction in income, you might be eligible for things like Medicaid or Minnesota Care. Or even if you have to get through exchange, you might have your premium reduced or covered by the state, or your out-of-pocket also covered at a percentage. It really depends on income. It's a sliding scale as your income goes up. If you do use MNsure, you can put in your information and figure out how much will be covered and what the cost will be for you for both premiums and out of your out-of-pocket. That might be one way that you can take some of that burden of cost off you. If you do have a major medical expense this year and you're out of a job, apply for financial assistance with the provider, or you can always do a payment plan. You have options. So if you have lost your job, do a little bit of research, figure out what plan's right for you. Time is of the essence, so don't wait.